Hey guys, so I want to get into this whole Amara La Negra Afro conversation. So as you know, Amara La Negra, she is a star on Love and Hip Hop. And when the Love and Hip Hop Miami, when the trailer dropped, the super trailer dropped for Love and Hip Hop Miami, I actually watched a reaction video. I saw it on my own, then I went online and saw a reaction video. But in the super trailer, you see this dark-skinned and curvaceous woman walking down the streets of Miami, dancing down the streets of Miami, and then come to find out, we find out it's Amara La Negra. Now, I've never even heard of seeing Amara La Negra as far as social media or anything before Love and Hip Hop Miami, like legitimately. So you see the super trailer, then you come and find out it's Amara La Negra. And Amara La Negra is Afro-Latina, a Latina Spanish singer. She's had success in that market, and now she's trying to cross over. That's the whole thing, her whole storyline on being on Love and Hip Hop or whatnot. So on the pilot episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami, you see the whole conversation, the infamous scene where she meets up with Young Hollywood, which I've never heard of him until the show either. Catch that shade. But she meets up with Young Hollywood as far as trying to do the transition over to the American market, and he's an American producer. So the whole conversation, the infamous scene is, oh, what's up with this Afro? And you need to be Hawaiian silk. You need to silk it out straight like, like a Beyonce. This, that, and the third. And it sparks all this controversy on social media. Everybody's in an uproar. And that night it aired. Everybody's on these blog sites reposting it. Everybody's giving their comments. Now, when I first saw Amara La Negra, because I tuned into the episode, I had my TV, I was watching the episode. When I first saw Amara La Negra, just based on her skin tone, I looked at her afro and didn't think anything of it. Like, okay, it's just an afro. But after, like I said, that first episode aired and everybody's reposting the clips, oh, what do you think? This whole conversation with her and Young Hollywood, there was a lot of comments in the comment section. Well, like, oh, is that even her real hair? Very aggressive, like people questioning her afro. And I was just trying to figure out where is this coming from. So after all the controversy, it was kind of like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, the whole Kanye West. Taylor Swift, she had cute little songs. She had her little career going before that. But after that whole situation, she went into a whole nother stratosphere. And that's kind of seeing what's happening with Amara La Negra. You're seeing her everywhere, which shout outs to her. She's doing her numbers. She's making her rounds based on that whole ignorant conversation, that whole scene that she had to go through. But yeah, so with everything that's happening, Amara La Negra gets invited to the Breakfast Club. And one of the first questions they ask her is is your hair real? And she says in the interview, my natural hair is in the form of an afro. When I wash, condition, do the whole thing, let it dry, it forms in the form of a afro in that texture. I add extensions or add pieces or wig, whatever you want to say, to make it fuller and more luscious and more voluminous. So that's what she said. She adds extensions to make her afro as big in the way it is. So they're filming for the Love and Hip Hop Miami reunion, and I was on Instagram and there was a poster from Amara La Negra, like, are you guys feeling Amara La Negra's look? She has on this red ensemble. She has her ass sleeked back in like a bun, like a braided bun, not the afro. And in the comments, it's like, oh, well, what's up with the afro? Yada, yada, yada. So this whole conversation with Amara La Negra and the afro, I'm just trying to break it down, kind of put my finger on it. And the only conclusion I've came, and what I just come to the conclusion that an afro is a Black American, African American, or a straight African thing. Like, none of these other Afro-Latinas is in third. You're pure African, or what is African American, meaning slavery, that whole situation. Your derivatives from that. Nobody outside of that can wear an afro. Black Power, 1970s. That's the only conclusion I can draw from it. That anybody else to do outside of those groups, being straight African or African American, is some form of cultural appropriation to wear an afro. When Amara La Negra told you, hello, I'm Afro-Latina, and this whole Afro-Latina thing is, for me, just throwing people off. They're not getting it. The whole Latina aspect is completely throwing people for a loop. They're just not getting it. So the whole conversation with her wearing an afro, I think people are looking at it from the aspect that you're a Latina. Latinas have wet and wavy, silk, this, that, and the third type. And that's just a lack of knowledge and ignorance on these people in the comments part. Any person of color, whether even it's just mixed with black and white, there's a possibility of the hair being extremely textured. And I think we look at certain people, certain backgrounds, whether it's mixed with black and white, Latina, all this, that, oh, they have a certain grade of hair, which for the majority, maybe that's just all you've seen. But when it comes to being a person of color, your hair could be just as frumpy as what is, or just as textured, that cotton ball texture, as a person that's pure African. The fact that you're a person of color, like the genes, you have, I don't want to say the risk, it's not the right word, but you have the potential of having super textured hair. It's not a guarantee, just unless you're Latino, unless you're mixed, that it's going to be wet and wavy and silky. And I think that's what's throwing people off. They're looking at Amara La Negra, this whole Latina aspect of it, like, oh, well, your hair wouldn't naturally look like that because she's Latina. And it's like any person of color has the potential of having super textured hair, even if you feel like you haven't seen it or you don't believe it to be so. So for me, it's just coming from a place of cultural appropriation. They feel like she's doing, but she's been saying from the beginning, I'm Afro-Latina, and she's dark-skinned. And like I said, when I first saw her on Love and Hip Hop, I never questioned the Afro until the little bugs, to social media planted those bugs into my head to think otherwise, And my thing is, everybody wants to be so proud, and I'm black and I'm proud, and Black Lives Matter, this, that, and the third. But as soon as a dark-skinned woman, even though she's Latina, Afro-Latina, like I said, the whole Latina thing seems to be throwing people off. Clearly, if you look at the conversations, they're thrown off by the Latina aspect. They don't get it. But this whole conversation of her wearing an afro and being dark-skinned, what is the problem? The fact that a woman in 2018, a woman of color, is choosing to wear an afro. Look at the history of afro. Look at the perception of afro. That's not classy. That's nappy. That's dirty. What is that sitting on your head? And afro has never been a glamorous or luxurious thing. So why is there so much conversation, so much controversy of a woman of color choosing to actually put an afro on her head in 2018? Like, shouldn't y'all be happy? That speaks volumes that a woman will walk around and that is her signature look in 2018. That speaks volumes. And y'all don't even get it. Y'all keep questioning her. Well, oh, she's Latina, so her hair ain't natural like that. Her hair wouldn't look like that. Why is she put on an afro? A woman of color choosing to wear an afro willingly in 2018. She's not out here on some skit. She's not out here in some movie where she's paid to wear afro. She's choosing to wear an afro on her own in her everyday life. And all y'all can do is bigger and question her about her background and her realness. And y'all don't even see the bigger picture of that. Y'all don't even see how powerful that is to choose to wear afro 2018. Y'all want to bicker and tear her down about what her roots and what she is and what she ain't. It's just like, I don't get it. So tell me what you guys think. So yeah, just tell me what you guys think. Leave a big thumbs up, leave your comments below, share this video, and thanks again.